XM NASCAR Radio, and fans will know her from her radio show Dialed In with Claire B. Lang on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Enjoy, have fun, you guys.
How are you all doing? Everybody having a great time? I think it's awesome. So many fans are here, and I want to say it's cool that we have the best drivers in the world on a Saturday before the start of the season hanging out with the race fans of NASCAR. Give them a big hand, all right? I really want to start by saying that these guys have a lot to talk about with the new Generation 6 car, and I'm going to go down the line, and I know we'll talk nationwide racing as well, but Denny, why don't you start? What are you expecting out of that new car at Daytona?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a great-looking car, and everyone's talked everything about it, but really, we're not going to know until the season gets going. It's going to take a little while, but I think what NASCAR's really done, the different approach that they had with this car was that they involved the teams in developing this car. They didn't do it all on their own, so this is a car that really the teams have put together. The aerodynamic package and everything is what the drivers like. So, you know, really at this point, there's no excuses. We just got to go out there and put on a great race.
Dale Jr., you know you cranked the fans up when you said you liked this car, and they ask on Sirius XM on Dial In all the time, does that mean he feels much more comfortable? What about you? And don't you expect, aren't you hearing that he really likes it a lot?
Yeah, I'm really, I think the car looks great. Looks like a race car to me. The car we were driving just wasn't as appealing to me, and didn't drive that great. Didn't get into the racetrack too good, but this car here miles better, and we've had a lot of fun testing it and working on it. There's still a lot to be learned. Like Denny said, we've got a lot to understand yet about the car, and it's got it's got a lot of things that I think will improve on it and make it even better. So I think the sport's going in a new direction.
How about you, Austin? Let's talk about the Nationwide Series, and I'm on the air after every race is over. I'm really looking forward to this year on the coverage of all of the great drivers that are going to be in Nationwide and how crazy competitive it's going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of good competition going in the Nationwide Series this year, and Chevrolet brought out the Camaro, and it looks awesome. So looking forward to driving it and going all over the place chasing the championship.
What about you, Johanna?
Pretty excited. You know, last year we ended a pretty decent season, so if we can start where we ended off last year, I feel like it'll be a good year.
Well, now this is your fan festival. This is your NASCAR preview. So let's take a question from the audience. Monica Palumbo is right out there. Go ahead, Monica.
I have Alex. She's from Charlotte. The question's for Denny.
What's the most rewarding thing so far about fatherhood? I know you're only a few weeks in, but...
Geez, there are no bad days. That's for sure. For me, it's it's just so exciting to pull in the driveway after you had to go somewhere to see how much she's grown in the last 6 to 8 hours. I mean, you were only 3 weeks in, so she's changing every day quite a bit. So that part is awesome, and I'm looking forward to going to the racetrack. And really, I think it's going to temper the emotion from the highs and the lows that racing brings to you. So I'm looking forward to that part of it.
Dale Jr. was going to go to New York and be on national television, and then we had the blizzard of a century. Are you going to go back, and you're actually going to be on maybe this coming week so your fans can watch?
Yeah, I guess the NASCAR wants me to go out to New York and do a couple morning shows, Good Morning America, and a couple of others, but we got snowed out, and we're going to go up there Wednesday and do that. But it's a busy time of year, getting ready and getting excited, promoting the sport, getting our cars ready, testing our cars. So I'm ready and cranked up and ready to go.
Also, a lot of people are talking about heading into this year what you expect out of the Daytona 500. I myself cannot wait to get there, and I feel like a new electricity or excitement. What are you expecting, Denny?
Well, I think you're going to for sure see pack racing. The two-car tandem is all but gone. I feel like, I was actually in a restaurant watching TV when the big wreck happened during testing, so I missed out on that, but it looked like the cars were a handful to drive. Really, you spent more time trying to link up in two-car tandem than what it was worth. So you'll see a big pack of racing, cars that are out of control, and you know what that equals, havoc.
What do you think, Dale?
Yeah, they don't line up quite as good as they used to, that's for sure. I think Denny's right. I think we'll have racing a lot similar to what we had in 04, 06, 05 before the COT came in. The track's aging a little bit. We got a really small spoiler, low downforce on the back of the cars, so when guys are around you, your car changes, you lose a little bit of downforce. It's a good shift in the downforce when cars are moving around you. So that's kind of like it used to be in the old days. And they do move around a lot, and it is hard to push people. Like everybody's noses are different now, so I might be able to push a Chevy or a Toyota, but not a Ford or something, vice versa. And you're going to see guys having trouble pushing other cars, but being able to push other people. And we've always pushed on a straightaway, but even that seems kind of difficult now. But it should be a good race. I'm excited. I think that's a lot funner, putting that kind of challenge into the driver's hands.
At the test, Junior pushed me down the backstretch like, hell yeah, I got Junior pushing me. I get to turn 3, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was loose, it was rough.
We're going to see more of that, huh?
Oh yeah, it'll be wild.
Let's go to Monica out in the crowd. What do you got?
I've got Chad from Asheville. What's your question?
Does it feel like a car that, like you said, that you used to have, but does it feel like a car you can pull out and dominate with and handle like it used to be?
Well, you only get dominant cars every once in a while, and things are the playing field and the rules and everything's so different now that we don't have enough freedom to really get an advantage, create an advantage. You can't work on the bodies quite as much as you used to. NASCAR really mandates everything from the shocks and springs you put into the car. So everybody pretty much drives the same car. It comes down to 1 or 2 horsepower that set certain cars apart. But even that really doesn't give you a strong advantage at a place like Daytona or Talladega, especially with the repave. Everybody's cars handle really well. Nobody has a big problem with their tires wearing out, or the cars going away, getting tight or loose. It will eventually once the tracks start to age a little bit more. But for the time being, it's a real level playing field.
I got to ask you, Ty, whenever you Austin, whenever I talked about you and Ty, they want to know how you guys race against each other, who's a better racer. And so that question, but I will say that when it came to betting on the Super Bowl, you were the winner.
Yeah, he kind of made his bed for that one. He wanted the younger brother, so I let him have him, and I got the older brother, so Ravens won, and he has to wear a t-shirt that older brothers rule at Daytona.
And who's the better racer? That's what the fans want to know. That's a fan question.
I'm always going to say myself, it's just brotherly competition. Denny's played basketball with us a few times. We get into it pretty good.
They're grinders, both of them, equally.
Close to injury? Are we seeing where it's just right on the verge?
I'm old. I'm so old now. I haven't played golf or basketball in 3 months. I can't hardly take it no more.
You can't take it no more. How about you, Johanna? What's your mindset going into the season? People are expecting a lot out of you. We get a lot of phone calls about you, and we really expect you're going to be moving up as you continue to get experience.
I hope so. I get 21 races again this year, and that's more than a lot of people can say, and I'm really looking forward to it. Last year, it was all about gaining experience at every racetrack that we were going to and learning the cars, and I feel so much more comfortable in myself than I had going into Daytona last year. So I have a lot of expectations for sure, and a lot of goals I hope to reach.
Let's go back to Monica Palumbo.
I've got Kim. She's from the Poconos. This question is for Johanna.
Johanna, thank you, first of all, for representing women in NASCAR. I have a question for you. How do you feel about the more strategic aspect and the racing aspect rather than the commercial side that other women are representing in NASCAR?
Ever since I was a little girl, my dad always told me this is a man's sport, and you have to go out there and you have to race your hardest. And I just go to every race. I'm a racer. That's probably a lot of my downfall with sponsorships and stuff, but I'm really working on the other aspect of it. But I just love getting to the racetrack and just focusing on that, being at the racetrack. When I get in that race car, I'm in my heaven, and that's all I think about.
I went out in the crowd and asked a lot of you what you would like to have asked, and Dale Jr., one of your fans, decked out in your jacket, said, ask him why he doesn't do more nationwide races. We love watching him racing nationwide.
Well, I really enjoy racing in a nationwide series, but I enjoy being an owner in the series as well, giving guys opportunities either behind the wheel or as mechanics, what have you, sort of bringing up people and watching them move up into the upper levels of the sport is a lot of fun, and I like to focus on our Cup stuff. We're really sort of turning a corner and getting really competitive on our Cup stuff, and I like to focus on that and spend a lot of my time thinking about how to get better on Sundays. I know that what we do on Saturdays with our cars can help us, and we try to utilize that. We've bridged the gap between JRM and HMS over the past several months with a lot of changes we've made, and I think it's going to really help both companies become more competitive.
And you know, I got to ask you, Denny, about Matt Kenson, and he seems like he is fitting in over there, cutting up, having a great time, joking around. Over at the Media Day event, we were hysterically laughing, and he was cutting up, throwing sides and busting chops. How's it working with him over there so far?
It's really going to be great. You know, for me, I'm going to be interested to see how he handles his weekend as far as the practices. You know, what kind of information does he give during debriefs? That's really going to be the key to what's going to make our team better. And ultimately, at Joe Gibbs Racing, we've really never had all three teams running really good at any one point. I think at the end of 2010, we came close to that, but we know that Matt is a guy he's going to make the chase. He's going to win races, and he's going to bring all the teams up to a new level. I know in 2008, when Kyle Busch came over to Joe Gibbs Racing, he really turned me into a guy that wins 1 or 2 races a year to multiple times, pushing me to be better. So he constantly, I would learn from him and things like that, and tracks that I was bad at, he was good at, I would learn more from him. So I think Matt's going to have that same kind of effect on me at Joe Gibbs.
Go down to Monica Palumbo. She is down in the audience. What you got?
I have Rick. He's from Virginia. This is for Denny.
Hey, Denny. From your hometown, how does it feel to get back home and do your race thing at the Richmond Raceway this year? How's it going to feel this year?
It's really awesome. I love racing in Richmond. I've been season ticket holders there for I think since we were about 5 years old, and that's really how I got latched onto NASCARs. I always watched it on TV, and I was semi-interested, and this is, of course, when I was 5, so there's not much I could be really interested in for too long. So I went to a NASCAR race at Richmond, and from that point on, they went around on the pace laps, and I was standing at the fence, and you could smell the tires and the fuel and everything. It was like, wow, this is what I want to do for a living. So I just buckled down and focused on that, and so Richmond is got very special to me in a lot of different ways.
Hey, last thought. Anybody have any thoughts about the Hall of Fame last night and watching it and kind of soaking in the history? I know Dale Jr. is a real big supporter of the history of the sport. I'd like your take on that before I let y'all go. Any of you?
I think it's it's a lot of fun. It's great that the Hall of Fame's here in Charlotte, and I think we've done a good job sort of building that up. And it's really good to see all of the guys, your heroes, and the guys you've always looked up to, the guys who sort of created the sport, get inducted in, get an opportunity to be recognized, get to hear some great stories, and just get a good glimpse into what their career was like and what kind of person they were. So it's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I think what you do is you learn a whole lot about the drivers that you were watching growing up that you had you didn't know anything about. Listening to their families' stories and tales, and so you get to really get an in-depth perspective of who that person is outside the race car as much as they were inside. We all saw their accomplishments every weekend, but we didn't know what kind of person they were. And one thing that NASCAR Hall of Fame is, it's inducted as another great class of really good individual people on and off the racetrack.
You guys want to add anything there? I don't want to leave you out.
I just agree. It's the greatest thing is that we have it here in Charlotte, and the stories and watching some of those videos last night was really cool. NASCAR did a good job of putting those together, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next class.
Yeah, I agree. It's really cool to see everyone. That's just the history in the sport, and to see how everyone made the sport is really, really cool.
Well, like I said, these are the best racers in the world. It's the last weekend before the 2013 season starts, and they're here hanging out with the race fans. Give them a big hand. Let's go racing, and thanks for sharing your weekend with the race fans here today.
Hey. Oh. And you're dropping back here.